A very good morning to everyone. I'm Vishal Devi Subramaniam, matter number 270555. Today we are going to present about rationalism theory approach to the effect of COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia. So now move on to the introduction part. In December 2019, China reported a outbreak of COVID-19 with unknown cause which had become a public health emergency of international concern. The COVID-19 case was firstly confirmed on 25th January 2020 in Malaysia. The seriousness of this virus has hit all Malaysian and also Malaysian economy. Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, Malaysia has suffered enormous economic losses. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused significant distribution in the global economy. Moreover, implementation of movement control order and lockdown also have greatly affected Malaysian economic performance. Besides that, COVID-19 outbreak also has impact high unemployment rate and depression in Malaysian ringgit, where a lot of households loses their source of income. Other than that, small and medium enterprise business are also struggle to operate. Moreover, due to the spread of this disease, school and office are closed and switched to distance learning, such as work from home and study by online. In this case, not all of students have access to laptop or high speed of internet connection. To overcome all these problems during COVID-19 pandemic, government plays an important role. For example, government has imposed several policies in terms to help household, students, small business, and etc. For example, Bantuan Prihatin Rakyat, free vaccination, Prihatin economic stimulus package, and so on. Chosen rationalism theory as a theory that related to this issue. One is rationalism theory. Rationalism theory is also known as rational choice theory. This approach is relies on economic principle. Rational theory makes better policies in terms of understanding how economic, social and political changing and how public policy adapting themselves to change needs of society. Rational model is also a model that tries to understand all the alternative consequences and select the best. Besides that, rational theory also helps policymakers to understand economic and social behavior. The purpose of rational theory is to achieve maximum social gain or benefit. Policymakers should imply the policies that produce a greater benefit over the cost. The rational model deals with construction of public policies that ensure better public policies. Rational choice theory also alerts us to the importance of self-interest as a motivating force in politics and policy making and provide better understanding of decision-making process. Public policies are always made based on a rational decision. To rationally make decision, policy makers will define the decision situation, identifying decision criteria, allocate weight to the criteria, identifying the alternative, evaluating the alternative, selecting the best alternative, implementing chosen alternative, and evaluating the result. Moreover, public policymakers also counting all the values such as economic, social, and political in terms to achieve and make the rational policy. The main goal of rational theory is to, in public policy, is to provide greater benefit to the society. The strength of rational theory is to make reasonable assumption and compelling logic. This encourages to make a sound economic decision. For example, during COVID-19 pandemic, people are forced to stay at home, workers lost their jobs, and local businesses are struggled to operate, where it impacts a great loss to the Malaysian economic growth. In this challenging time, to recover the Malaysian economy, policymakers play a major role in taking action to protect the population in terms of health and social economy, such as government has implemented 4 stimulus package worth 305 billion to assist the rakyat and business as well the safeguard of our country. It also involves physical injection of RM55 billion.
Next approaches is the government will provide the assistance to the entrepreneur due to the pandemic. So during our first movement control order (MCO), all the prime ministers were forced to shut down their businesses to prevent the virus of COVID-19, and it has affected their cost of production. So therefore, the government of Malaysia needs to follow the 4 elements to rationally to make a decision to help them before come up with a policy. So there are four elements, which are: the first one is know all the society value, preference, and their relative right. So the COVID-19 pandemic has brought the negative impact to all the entrepreneurs in Malaysia and has become a business risk to them. In this situation, the government of Malaysia has implemented the MCO and restrict the standard operating procedure, which is SOP. So this implementation will have some impact on entrepreneur or trader in Malaysia. For example, the entrepreneur are not allowed to do their businesses during the MCO, so it will cause them to lose their income, and for certain people will also lose their job during the COVID-19. The second element is know all the policy alternative available. The government provide the digital businesses training to our local entrepreneur because they need to improve their skill of technological skill when they manage their businesses during the pandemic period. And then the government also encourage them to do the businesses via online platforms such as the Shopee, GrabFood, Foodpanda, and other to promote their own product. Third one is know all the consequences of this policy alternative. So the government of Malaysia has encouraged the entrepreneur to do their businesses through the online businesses. So we can see nowadays the online businesses platform has attract more people to purchase via online shopping. By this method, entrepreneur can gain their profit to maintain their cost of living during the MCO. So they will save their cost of businesses while they are doing the online businesses. Because they no need to pay any rental for the shop. They only need to register with the online shopping platform such as the Shopee, Lazada, GrabFood. So from this, all the online shopping platform can give them a lot of benefit and overcome the challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. Also during the MCO, customer will choose to purchase via online, so it will help the local entrepreneur to gain the profit, and Malaysia economy will recover by supporting the local businesses during the pandemic. The last one is select the most efficient policy alternative. So the government of Malaysia has announced one campaign, which is the Buy Malaysia Product campaign. The objective for this campaign is to help the local entrepreneur when face the challenges during the pandemic period. Government also encourage the consumer of Malaysia to support and purchase more local product. So the government has provided the campaign and workshop to improve the skill of entrepreneur to use the technological or able to use the media social as a platform to continue their businesses, such as use the platform Facebook, Shopee, Instagram, and others platform during the pandemic, especially for those in the rural area.
Good morning everyone, my name is Tessin Jie, matric number 270880, and now I'm going to talk about the Malaysia COVID-19 vaccinations programs. In February, Malaysia government announced the COVID-19 vaccination program target for 26.5 billion people, which more than 80% of population to inoculate vaccines to stop the virus infections. According to the plans, vaccinations will be carried out in 3 stages. The first stage is for medical staff and other frontline workers in pandemic prevention and control. The second stage is for the elderly and high-risk populations, and the third stage is expanded to adult populations aged 18 and above. This plan is expected to be complete in February 2022. Publics are allowed to register through MySejahtera apps and will receive informed after that. The vaccination center will be located at stadiums, public halls, and universities. Moreover, some resident areas are far away from the center were established by government. So, Ministry of Health they launch a program which is let private clinics also provide the vaccination service for the public, resolve their transportation problems. Participating private clinics will receive the training before they formally provide service, as well as clearly understand the standard operating procedure for vaccinations, so people can be confident with it. Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, development of vaccine is the hope for whole countries. The vaccination program will help to restore business and improve country economic growth. When the majority of Malaysians have been inoculated vaccine, government can consider relaxing the SOP and more sectors, including the service sector, will be reopened, which in turn will revive confidence among the business operator and help Malaysians come out from the pandemic and go to the normal life.
Next, COVID-19 pandemic has bring a lot of negative impact to our country. Therefore, in the rationalism theory, the policymaker need to rationally to make a decision. So, the government of Malaysia need to follow 4 elements to rationally make decision to help them before coming out with a policy. The first element is know all the society value preferences and the reality weight. So the COVID-19 pandemic has affected nearly 800,000 individuals in Malaysia who have lost their own job and affected some of the entrepreneurs to shut down their businesses. So in this situation, an individual will lose their income and they will feel pressures since our country hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. So this pandemic has negative impact on the Malaysian, especially in economy. So Malaysian people especially for the group B40 and M40, they need help from the government to reduce their financial problem since our country was hit by the pandemic. So the second element is know all the policy alternative available. So the government of Malaysia has provided a package of Bantuan Pin Haji Raya to all the Malaysian, especially from group global income, which is B40 and M40. Third element is know all the consequences for this policy alternative. The government of Malaysia has played their role and was responsible to help and protect the resident Malaysia during the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, the government of Malaysia has provided the package which is Bantuan Pin Haji Raya. So for this package is provided to B40 and M40 groups, so they can reduce their financial problem after the COVID-19 pandemic, such as most of the people has been lost their job during the pandemic. Next, for the fourth element is select the most efficient policy alternative to reduce the financial problem of Malaysia, especially for group B40 and M40 due to the pandemic. Our government has announced that most efficient alternative to solve their problems. For example, for a household whose monthly income is less than 2,500 and must require no or one child in their family, this group will receive 1,200 ringgit from the government. Well, for those who have 2 or above children, they will receive 1,800 ringgit. Next, for those households whose monthly income is 2,501 ringgit to 4,000 and no have or only have one child, they will receive 800 ringgit. Well, for those who have two children and above will receive 1,200 ringgit. Third, for those household monthly income is 4,000 and 1 ringgit and until 5,000 and no have or have only one child in their family, they will receive 500. So for those who have two children and above will receive 750 ringgit from the government. So for the individual who are single and their income is less than 2,500, so they must be 21 years of above, so they can receive the welfare by the government. So they will receive 350 ringgit for each person.
Next, I will present the deferment of loan repayment. Many Malaysians have lost their jobs and existing incomes due to COVID-19 pandemic because there are many industry and sector that need to be shut down during the MCO. People have no extra money to repay the loan because they need to spend their savings on their living expenses. So, people need help from the government to ease their burden during the pandemic. Government has given some deferment of PTPTN loan repayment to all borrowers, and the deferment of PTPTN loan repayment from 19 March until 31st December 2020 to all borrowers. Borrowers do not need to apply because it is granted automatically, and there are PTPTN borrowers who are still affected by the pandemic. With this, the government has agreed to extend the PTPTN loan repayment period for 3 months, which is from 5 January until 31st March 2021 to eligible borrowers. The eligible borrowers were those who lost income, such as being laid off and affected by income, which means the income has been reduced. Government given this deferment is for reducing the burden of the people, and when the government is given this deferment to repay the loan, it can help to reduce the cost of expenses for a month. This helps to reduce the financial burden of the people. In conclusion, Malaysia are currently living in a challenging situation due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic has brought serious impact on our country's economy. The government is aware of the challenges faced by the Malaysians business and our economy in Malaysia. So, the government has to take an action or alternative to prevent the problem of COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, we are looking forward to our country's market recovering as soon as possible after being hit hard by COVID-19 pandemic, and hopefully our government will seriously take the efficient action to solve all these issues of COVID-19 as well, because it is important to boost our economy in Malaysia. That's all from us. Thank you.